Okay, so same thing as when we're drawing lines. We want to use our arm as much as possible. Once again, I understand it's a little bit foreign for most of you guys. Um, Ultimately, with this, we don't want to spend all of our time just practicing circles. We also want to practice ellipses. Ellipses are the flatter version of a circle. Most of what we'll probably be drawing are elliptical things because we'll be drawing in perspective. 90% of these beginning exercises will be both Prismacolor as well as with the pins. Most of it is so that you're developing familiarity with the tools. So in general, these are not particularly difficult exercises. In addition, they're not particularly impressive. What I mean is they're not impressive to show your friends. When they look in your sketchbook and they see you have a bunch of circles and ellipses, typically they're not in awe. I've almost never seen somebody look at the circles and ellipses in a sketchbook and marvel at how well they're drawn. However, you do want to just develop the ability and the control. Part of what you're doing is you're visualizing the marks first, and then you apply whether it's your pencil or your pen to the paper. Same thing when we start using markers. We try to visualize our marks, and then we want to commit to them. Initially, it's a little bit strange to move your arm without making a mark, but eventually you'll get into the habit of being comfortable with the idea of that I can quickly and easily visualize what I want to do, and then once I feel committed that I feel like I can make the shape, the form, then I'll go ahead and allow the pressure to apply to the paper and then make the mark. Same thing with these converging ellipses. We just want to get into the habit of being able to visualize that we can draw a varying scale from large to small so that we ultimately have control over the marks that we're making. It's so easy. Well, it's much easier to draw these ellipses when you're using your whole arm than it is to use your wrist. Whether the paper is small, whether it's large, ultimately if you're using your wrist, you will almost always have far more control over the marks that you're making than if you're when you're using your arm, you have far more control than if you're using your wrist. Initially, your drawings will be a little ugly. So this class is not about rulers, it's not about templates, it's about conditioning your arm and your hand to effectively control them to make marks. So go make marks.